Thank you. Picture this. It's a December Sunday, 1981. I'm 20 years old. I'm on my parents' dairy farm, just watching TV for the afternoon to go by, and up comes this old black and white flick. And it catches my interest. And it catches my interest because it's about a small town and the bank that's in that small town. The town's called Bedford Falls. The bank and the community have a common purpose. And basically at this point it's survival. It's tough times in Bedford Falls, and it's tough times in Akron, Indiana. This was after the Depression. Ours was during the ag crisis. The bank was doing everything trying just not to foreclose. The Bailey Building and Loan was doing the same as the Akron Exchange State Bank. In fact, here's a clip to illustrate. 5, 4, 3. Oh, sorry, I got no video. This is Peter Bailey, George's father, and this is young George. And Peter's saying, I can't foreclose on these people. We're just trying to keep the community alive. And that's Mr. Potter, who basically owns the town, and saying, you got to foreclose on these folks. Well, George goes on to work at the Building and Loan throughout his youth, but he wants to really travel the world and become an engineer. But disaster happens. His dad tries to talk him into staying. George says, no, I got to go. Before he can actually leave, his father has a mortal stroke. The board of the Building and Loan votes to keep the Building and Loan open, but only on one condition, and that condition is that George remains the CEO.
You're thinking of this place all wrong. As if I have money back in a safe.
He's getting ready to leave on $1,000.
Well, your money's in Joe's house. That's right next to yours. And in the Kennedy house, and Mrs. Maitland's house, and 100 others.
How am I going to live until the bank opens?
I got back to this for pay. I need cash.
I can't have you back your own safe.
How much do you need?
Hey! I got $2,000. Here's $2,000. This will tide us over to the bank reopens. All right?
Obviously, George and the Building and Loan had a profound impact on their community. They financed affordable homes, and they kept vibrant small businesses alive. An example is Bailey Park. But again, disaster strikes. A large cash deposit is lost, and George faces bank failure and prison. He's so distraught he ends up literally jumping off a bridge, only to be saved by Clarence, his guardian angel. He tells Clarence that, I think, it would have been better if I had not been born. Clarence says, oh, that's the idea. I'll show you. If there's no George Bailey, there's no Bedford Falls. It becomes Pottersville. And in fact, most of the businesses become bars and brothels, including the Building and Loan, where it used to be, is now a dance hall. George was convinced. Clarence returns him home, only for George to be faced with the bank examiner and the authorities waiting to arrest him. But yet the day is saved. All the friends that George helps over the years comes to his aid, brings up their needed cash, gives him the money to cover the cash deposit that was lost. Clarence, the guardian angel, earns his wings, and he leaves George this fitting message. Great movie. What's the point? Well, today, the 4 biggest banks now control nearly half of the country's deposits. Community bank numbers have fallen by more than half and currently hold less than 1/5 of the assets. During the Great Recession, the Feds allowed only WAMU to fail, while more than 500 community banks disappeared. Rural areas were probably hit the hardest, causing migration from rural to urban. In fact, Joe Sullivan in his sessions yesterday mentioned that 82% of Indiana's population now lives in urban areas. It's hard not to think that under intense pressure, regulators focused on community banks while capital flowed other places. And rural residents and small businesses struggled to get needed credit. We need to go back to our traditional role. That's taking deposits and making prudent loans to the folks we know. We need tiered regulation to allow us to do so. A community bank and a mega bank are not the same. You see, ultimately it's a virtuous circle. A common purpose drives culture. Culture drives behavior. Behavior drives customer loyalty, and increasing customer loyalty reaffirms common purpose. Again, a bank and the community have that common purpose. Folks, let's fight for tiered regulation today, and let's be the George Baileys. Thank you.